So Destiny is a massive game, a game that's been spanning for over 10 years by this point, and there are just tons of resources that are out there on different websites that are just not available to you in-game. So this is just a video about the best websites that I recommend every Destiny 2 player should know about. Now, if you are a diehard veteran of this game, you probably know most of these websites already, and that's good for you. This is not really a video for you, but I do also encourage you to also drop your resources in the comments as well. Use this as kind of like a checkpoint for all sorts of websites for the future. That way you can come back to this video just to kind of see what type of resources are out there. Because I'm not going to go over every single one. These are just the ones that I mainly use and the ones that I use the most. But like I said, please feel free to drop some more in the comments to help other players out. Use this as like a nice little place to have a compilation of all sorts of websites from the Destiny universe. Starting off with probably the one I use the most is going to be D2 Armor Picker. Now, I know that DIM has some form of this already in there, but I find the UI of D2 Armor Picker to just be a lot better and a lot more streamlined. For starters, pick your stats over here. Well, obviously, pick your class. So, say I want to do a Hunter. Then I go ahead and scroll a bit down. I can pick my exotic. I can pick what gear set bonus I want to use. So, say there's like a certain armor set that I want to use a 2-piece bonus or a 4-piece bonus for. I can do that. I can also pick my aspect and fragments as well a little bit down here. Basically everything below advanced settings is stuff you don't really need to concern yourself about because it's just so streamlined and easy. Just pick your fragments, pick your gear set, pick your exotic, and then pick your stats. So just quickly make a build, melee, click on it, 149, scroll up, make it 150. You can even lock the amount, so if say you want exactly 150 stats on an item, you can do that, you can lock it, so it's only 150, it won't give you any other like 151 or 152 or whatever, it'll give you exactly what you want. Then obviously go and pick your exotic. We'll just say, since it's a melee build, we'll run something like Phidian Spath. And then go ahead and click on the build, and it'll tell you exactly if they're masterworked or not. So this full set right here is masterworked. This set has a piece that is not masterworked because it shows up in white numbers. And the thing that I like that they actually added is now you can just equip the items directly on your characters. It used to be that you had to like copy the link to DIM and then have that loadout in DIM to then equip it from there, but now you can just equip it directly from D2 Armor Picker, which is incredibly nice. Click one button, equip all the items, and yeah, equip. And just let it run for a bit, and it'll equip all the gear for you. You have to be in orbit for this to work. You can't just do this in any area of the game, because you need to be in an instance where armor can swap, but it does it automatically for you. It's incredibly intuitive, it's a nice system, and this fashion is ugly as hell. But anyways, D2 Armor Picker is just one of the most intuitive tools. If you do any sort of build crafting in this game, you probably will use this at one point or another. And like I said, DIM does have a version of this, but I just find the UI of D2 Armor Picker to just be so much better. This is just way more clean, way more intuitive. You have all your exotics in one location. Just click one. It gives you every version of the build you can have. It's not complicated. It's incredibly simple to use. I love this website. I use this probably more than I use DIM nowadays. That might be an exaggeration, but I definitely use this as like my most used website outside of DIM for certain. The next website is all about weapons and finding out the god roll is. So D2 Foundry. This is the website I like to use. This is my personal favorite for looking up god rolls. It's very intuitive. Just look up a weapon. You have the ability to filter through by frames, traits, certain energy types. So let's say I want a weapon that specifically has Rampage on there. Yeah, Rampage. Click on that, and it just shows me every weapon that has Rampage as an option. So let's say this Unwavering Duty, the machine gun from Trials, it gives me every single trait option. Allows me to pick and choose what I want to use, and it gives me the exact stats of that weapon when I have those perks equipped. And not only that, you can pick things like your mods, your masterworks. It's all around just kind of like a great system to just look at weapons without actually owning them. Not only that, you can do like the enhancement as well, so it shows the enhanced version of each trait. It shows PvP, PvE versions. This is something I don't even know about. Counters? Oh, that's interesting. It even tells you based on what you're doing. So if you're in like a master raid or master dungeon, that's pretty cool. D2 Foundry is all in all my favorite place to just go look through weapons. And sometimes, and this is also the best place just for like early days when a new expansion comes out, when new gear releases, this is where I would go to look at the new gear. Another example is like, say we have the new, what is it called? PSI Pulse Rifle. Oh, take off the filter. PSI, new Rocket Pulse, you can look at that as well. Select perks will effects, what it does, enhance it, etc., etc. This is just one of those websites that every new player should know about, even old players as well. You know, we go to this site all the time just to see what exactly we can do with the weapons. Like I said, masterwork, mods, and it's very intuitive. It's a lot like D2 Armor Picker, where the UI is just so clean and so nice that I just enjoy using this over any other site. There are probably other alternatives out there, but this is just, like I said, clean UI, best looking thing. I love this so much. This is my pick for like the best weapon-based website for Destiny 2. The next resource is D2 Checkpoints. Now this is one that I'm assuming a lot of people have already used before, one that people use all the time. I know I use this a lot. Essentially, D2 Checkpoints is a website where you can just grab checkpoints for various different bosses from raids and dungeons in the game. So, for example, if say I need the final boss of the Equilibrium dungeon, I just go right here, click on this little clipboard right down here, little check mark, and then come back to my game, enter, and then Control V, and then right there, /join checkpoint bot, and it just allows you to quickly get into a game with somebody, get the checkpoint you need for whatever activity you want, and it allows you to farm things a lot faster and a lot quicker instead of doing the entire dungeon. I feel like the one that most people will probably use is going to be things like, Shirochi. This is just a no-brainer, easy way to do like catalysts and stuff. And obviously, if there's any like raid boss you got to fight, like say you got to fight, Tanix or Atheon or whatever sort of boss fight you need to do, this is a quick and easy way to grab the checkpoint at any moment. It's a very nice tool. The next resource is probably one of the most important resource tools because it allows you to have information on the game that just is not in-game, and that is the Destiny Data Compendium. This is just one giant spreadsheet full of information. That's really what it is. It's just a giant spreadsheet full of information in the game that should just be in the game, but it isn't in the game. So for example, let's say I click on Solar Subclasses, click on this and find Radiant, for example. Increases weapon damage by 20% for 10 seconds. It can be extended up to 15 seconds by default. That is information that is nowhere in the actual game. I don't know if there's a single spot in the game where it says that Radiant does 20% more damage. And here we have it, right here in the Compendium. This is a great resource just for quickly finding out information on certain things. If you're ever wondering how much something is really benefiting you, what's the actual percentage of something, what is this specific thing doing for you, this is just a great tool for that. The Compendium really does have information on everything, like every subclass, Void, Solar, Arc, Stasis, Strand, your class abilities, you gotta look at those, exotic class perks for the class items, prismatic, weapons, armor, it even has stuff from episode Heresy still. I don't know why, but it does. There really is information for everything in this spreadsheet. Just any question you might have about what's doing what exactly is it benefiting you, how much is it benefiting you, stuff like that. This is just a great tool to go look at and see if you can find the information from there. I can go all day about how important this tool is, but reality is it's just information overload, and that's a good thing because Destiny is a game that unfortunately doesn't really give that much information. Just for one specific thing that I want to go ahead and just have a bit of a tangent about. Rage modifier. Yeah, rage combatants. Yeah. I did not know this, but damage resistance begins at 60% at 100% HP. They gain 60% DR at 100% HP. Side tangent. This is like my least favorite modifier in the entire game, and they have Screams right next to it. Angry Gremlins. The next website I want to talk about is going to be Engram.blue. This is a website that just has like some various tools that can be beneficial to you as a player. Crafting progress. This allows you to know what you have in terms of red borders. Red borders is a bit of an older system, but if you're still farming for red borders, this is like a very easy way to know what you have and what you don't. Catch 'em all. This is very nice for your exotic class items and ergo sum to know what you do have and what you don't. There's no real way in the game currently to know what class items you do have, and there's a lot of different combinations, so it just gives you a clear, easy way to know what you have, and more importantly, what duplicates you may have. And you can even copy the dim query to then take it into the dim and just have all those duplicates be put in your inventory so you can dismantle them all at once. Very, very helpful. Like, for example, my Titan right now has 7 duplicates. I'll probably do that later. But allows you to just know what you do and do not have at a glance very easily. Same thing with ergo sum. You know what you have, what you don't have. Nice little checklist item. Another one I want to mention that I recommend you all use is the Vault Quiz. Now, this isn't really like a tool per se. This is more like a fun little game that you can play just to enjoy and maybe do some vault cleaning as well if you ever need to. So, for example, how well do you know your own vault? Which item of these is yours? I'm not quite sure. I think it's probably this one right here. Yeah, so correct. That's the one I have. Which one of these is yours? Which one of these is yours? I'm not sure because this is tier 5. So I'm going to go with that one. I got it wrong because this is the one I have. That's the one I should probably delete. Just a nice little game you can play. You know, if you just want to go through and do some vault cleaning. And I know which one this one. That's that one. Yeah, I know that one. I'm going to just finish this because I am entertaining myself now. Hey, look at that, 60%. Yeah, so that means I got to do some vault cleaning, clearly. But just a nice little fun game you can play. Play it again. You know, do it as many times as you want. This is how I do my vault cleaning typically. If I don't know the item, then odds are I'll probably delete it. There's also some other tools here like Verity, if you're still doing that encounter, you need a calculator for it, you can use this as well. This is just a nice little website. It just has some varying tools that are very nice to have. It's not a crazy site by any means, but it still has some uses. I think the most use you'll find out of this will be the catch 'em all part, especially with the exotic class items, especially with this part, 100%. This right here is really the main reason I come to this site, but has other little things to it that I enjoy. This next site is more for like content creators, I'd say, so it isn't really for the average person, I think, but this website right here, if I can bring it over, Destiny Datasets, or data.destinysets. This is just an incredibly easy way to get icons from the game. I've used this so many times. Just go ahead and like say thrusters, click on that, and just go save image as. The amount of times you'll need an icon, especially as a content creator, it's so frequent, and the amount of times I find myself needing to look up the icon, I use this site. And finding this site was a saving grace. It's why I like to even make videos anymore, because going out of my way to try and like crop the actual icon in game is such a nightmare every single time, where I can just go here, find the exact thing I need, and just copy it or save it to my file somewhere and just use that in the video or use that as a thumbnail or something like that. Such a helpful tool, and it has stuff dating back incredibly far. Dust Rock Blues. Who remembers this? It gives you the ability to just look back on the past, look at newer things, look at older things, and more importantly for me, getting the icons, which is incredibly nice. This is not like the best website in the world for newer players or really the average player at all, but if you're making any sort of content in their game or any sort of videos that require icons from the Destiny universe, this is just where I would go get them from. One of the things that I like to do is just always, come over here and hit refresh and just see what pops up, because there's just so many different things in this game, and odds are if you just go here once or twice, you'll see something from the past that you might remember. Caretaker, this is an old sword. Oh my god, anti-barrier auto, not in the game right now. This is just a way to just look at things, get icons. It's a great tool for that. And now the final one, the one that you probably saw coming, the one that most people probably use all the time, and that's going to be Destiny Item Manager. I don't really think I need to go too much in on this. You already know exactly what this does if you've been playing for longer than any sort of extended period of time. It just allows you to kind of transfer items between characters. It allows you to save loadouts, which is my favorite part of DIM. You can have hundreds and hundreds of loadouts. Postmaster as well, you can collect things from there. I'm not going to go too much into this because you should already know what this is. But of course, if say like you're somebody who doesn't have a PC, you don't have access to a second monitor, I just want to note that there is an actual app for your phone for this. You can go and download DIM from the App Store. There's also Ishtar Commander as well, which is a good alternative. So, for console players, I know you may not have access to DIM all the time. I just want to, shout out that there is an app out there. There are no excuses anymore. Everybody has some sort of cell phone. Destiny Item Manager, this is by far the most used website in Destiny history, for a good reason. It allows you to do so many intuitive things like dragging and drop items into specific places. You have the ability to search up things. You also can do like is in loadouts, which just allows you to know what's in a loadout versus what's not. There's so many different search things you can do. I could talk all day about Destiny Item Manager, but just to keep it very simple, this is a very important website that everybody should know about. It's probably the most used website in terms of Destiny. I have visited this website probably daily for the last like 5-6 years, probably longer than that. It is just a very important tool that I'm not going to spend too much time talking about. Anyways, that's just like a compiled list of all the sites that I tend to use for Destiny. This is not a complete list of every single website involving this game. There are tons of other sites that you can definitely shout out in the comments. Like Braytech, for example, that's one that comes immediately to mind. I'll go ahead and leave links to all the websites in the description. So if you want to go and try some of these out, they'll be right there for you. Definitely give these an opportunity. They're very vital tools and important to the game. I just wish that some of this information was in-game, but obviously you can't have everything. So these are vital resources that I just recommend you use. Very, very powerful tools, and they just make the game a whole heck of a lot easier to play. Anyways, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this helped somebody. Even if you're a veteran who knew all these sites, please share this with your friends. Let them know, especially if they're new players, because it's just one of those resource videos that I think will be a benefit for anybody who decides to pick up this game. And again, obviously, if there's any sites that you want to shout out, leave them in the comments, because please, this is a very, very big game, and there's a lot of resources out there that I just don't know all about. I'd also like to hear about some new things that I don't even know about, so that'd be greatly appreciated. Like I said, this is the video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.